some noise, everybody. You're here at Wonderville for WordHack. So great to see all of you. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Todd Anderson. I'm going to be your host tonight. Really excited to have you here. If this is your first time with us, WordHack is a monthly show that's now 8.5 years running. Wow, hey, been around. Welcome. Where we have talks and performances that explore language and technology. So kind of how computers and phones and things you can press buttons that make electricity and all those sorts of things. How they change the way we read and write and communicate with words. And lots of people come at that in different ways. We have writers who come up with new ways to write using computational systems. We have game makers coming up with new dialogue systems and world building. We have academics doing language research. We have all sorts of people coming at this from different ways, but they don't historically talk to each other. It's hard to get a bunch of people from a bunch of different disciplines here in the same space and also have that space like not be depressing in some fashion. And WordHack strives to be a fun place where it is nice to be, where you can meet some people who might be thinking about similar things, but maybe not have your exact background. So it's a series of talks and performances that we run every month, and really excited to have you here. We have an amazing set of presenters for you this evening. We have Blake Andrews, we have Colleen Macklin, and we have Mark Fingerhut. Give it up for your featured presenters. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really good show. And to start things off, though, we always start off WordHack with a event called the Open Projector. As returning WordHack folks will know, my background is in poetry. I first came to New York in 2010 and didn't really know many people, and it was very valuable to me at the time to be able to just have a poem and be able to go to an event and put my name on an open mic list and then read my poem to a room full of ambivalent people, and then continue to do that for several months until I eventually met two people, and those two people became friends, and I could show them my writing, and then I could grow as a person and really join a community. And I think it's really important for digital culture spaces to have that kind of space to get in. We're not afraid to plug something into a projector or plug something into a power strip here. So if you've got a weird digital or electronic project that is hard to show other places, consider showing it in the future at WordHack. There's a tradition in the poetry scenes I came up in. Before you start a open mic, I initially came up in slam poetry, and there's this idea of the sacrificial poet that like to kind of like cleanse the stage, to make it a clean and safe space for the rest of the performers. There must be a sacrificial person who, because like you've all had, it's Thursday, you had a day of work, you had a day of whatever. We've got to kind of purge whatever you had going on, and so that the next people can really authentically contribute art to you. So I am going to be the sacrificial poet tonight and show you a little piece I made recently, just to clear the air. All right. So here's the Ding homepage. That's not what I'm showing you, but try to be topical here at WordHack. This might take a little bit to wake up. This is a poem I made I was part of this like writing, I want to say retreat, but it was more just a thing where on February 1st, a bunch of other writers just wrote all night. And this is the website I made. Oh, I gotta put sound on it. It's up at lifesaratchet.glitch.me if you want to check it out in the future. But, let me see if this sound will work, and then I can get started. Life's a ratchet. His line, not mine. The poet and the novelist, wasting our best material on each other just to show that we could. Showing off our abundance mindset. Actually gonna sit down. Staying up late to prove our priorities. Don't touch the night like that no more. Could but don't. It is a ratchet though. Sometimes it's better not to test your coulds. Lord save me from bad opinions and expensive habits. Living in fear of waking up next to a pair of $3,000 skis and a preference for North Colorado powder. That age-old question, is it worth loving someone enough to where you couldn't live without? Wouldn't be the same. Not you anymore. Except you. Who's you? That you back there ain't coming back. Life's a ratchet. Don't forget. They'll only use the you that's left. Seamless pays me back with time to watch a video, to unwind. I've measured out my life in STEAM achievements, spaced between a few bereavements, the ones I've had and the ones in store, podcast, Deckbox, Dark Souls 4. Used to think life's elastic, retains its shape when you push past it, except you can't unstretch the sweater, just stretch yourself till it fits better. And now your pants need stretching too, except you can't stretch them same as you stretch you. You've got a belt but can't attach it, life's elastic, nah. Alright, that's my poem. Hope we're warm. That's at lifesaratchet.glitch.me. You can kind of do it on your phone, but you can't hear the sound as good. I don't know. But you can. Everyone's got a phone. Cool. All right. Blood has been spilt, which means we are ready for our first contender on the open projector. Something's notifying. Please put your hands together for Samuel Lee. Give it up for Samuel. USB-C good?
Yep.
Sound.
Is it showing up? There we go. That's not the thing, that was just there. Okay. Cool. So, hey, I'm Sam. I'm a freelance game developer in New York City. I also teach a couple classes, adjunct. What's up?
Use the microphone.
Is this good?
Yeah.
We good?
We love it.
Okay, I'm Sam. I'm a game dev freelance person, and I teach sometimes as well. Let's get through this. These are my handles. If you see this logo anywhere, it's probably me, or someone's stealing my identity, which is unlikely. Okay, so here's my talk. It's going to be 3 lessons from making TikTok effects. I do TikTok stuff, and that's fine. I'm sure all of you are intimately aware of TikTok. TikTok effects are basically just Instagram filters. That's it. And it's not like I went through some sort of special process. They make something called Effect House, which is like a game engine. Yeah, it's super easy to learn. So let's show some examples. This one showing up? Oh my god, it's going wrong. Yeah, technology. Oh yeah. There we go. That's fun, isn't it? So yeah, it's this is like one of the basic effects I made. Was it your fault? The idea is that with making effects, you're sort of making stuff for other people to make jokes with. So hey, I give them a prompt and then they fill in the other part of it. So with this, it's kind of clear, right? It's like, say something like, oh, is it my fault that I lost all my money gambling in Vegas? They're just confused, I guess. And that's fun. Cool. Let's keep going. So, lesson 1, effects sort of have a life of their own. Smiley face. So a great thing of making all these different effects, right, is that people kind of take them and remix what you initially thought of them. So for this one, not that, let's show this. It's just a dancing thing, right? I have no idea what this means. It's gone. I guess it's kind of my eyes are kind of dark. But yeah. And then there's stuff like this, right? Oh my God, I did it again. When I first released this, it was kind of okay. But there's not really like a joke here other than like the visual gag, right? So it didn't really do very well right off the bat. But then like 2 months later, out of like nowhere, people started associating it with this person. And it was like all these other effects, and there was like this ongoing lore around all these weird effects being something about, you know, all these. I think my one's in here somewhere. Crazy. So yeah, it's sort of evolves over time in a way which feels really nice when it happens. Lesson 2 is effects have a life of their own, and you know, for every one of the, for the majority of the time when you put something out on this platform, it's like you don't really get anything from it. From it, it's like, you know, it's nice and I like the stuff I've made, but you know, the people coming to this are maybe they're like a little bit older, or you know, they're kids weirdly sometimes, and it's like they're just here for, you know, see something kind of ephemeral and then they move on with their day. So even though like 6 million people or something have like touched or seen these things in some way, it's the effect on my own life is like kind of nothing, which I guess isn't new, but you'd think there'll be some crossover there. There really isn't any at all. I made one effect where it was like a puzzle box where you had to go to my account to find out what the answer was in a bid to like try and convert some people over, and it just didn't work. Cool. Lesson 3, effects have a life of their own. This is an upsetting story. Where you can't really have any control over how people are going to use these things. So going back to this one, right, I showed you, I was like looking through the different videos people had made, and there was one, and this was before I realized that most of the videos were like bad. Like no one would ever want to watch these. But there was one video, it was like of a teenage girl who was like visibly upset. And she said to the camera, oh, is it my fault my dad is in the hospital? And it was like, when I saw that, I was like laying in bed and just being like, oh, fuck, what have I done? I've sort of facilitated this moment. Before the actual correct response came up, I was thinking of all the other like possible things it could be. 100% the other person's fault. That's not great. Like maybe 20% your fault. What? That's like, you know, this one would have probably been fine, right? But then this one, I was like hoping it wasn't going to be this one. Like I think it's your fault. Sorry. Jeez. Yeah. And the fact that they're so goofy, it would be just insult to injury. So I'm going to tell you what the actual thing which came up is, and then I'll get off the stage. So luckily, it was this: I'm so sorry that happened to you. In no way was that your fault. And it was like, okay, I got through it. You know, things went right. But maybe it didn't for like all the people that maybe didn't post their stuff, right? It's like, did I just, yeah. So it's kind of left me in a weird place of like, maybe I don't want to touch this again. Cool, so that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and here's my social media stuff. And yeah, see you around.
Wow, real arc in those emojis there. I also want to take a moment to say hello to our friends watching on the stream. Hello. We can see you over here in chat. So hey, Sandwich Lottery and Inflantopia. We can read your messages. Glad to have you with us. Up next, we have Brandon D. Give it up for Brandon.
Give me a moment to get set up here. Hi, everybody. My name's... Hello? Excuse me. Hi, everyone.
We got presenter.
Hey, everyone. My name's Brandon. I'm part of a group called Gnomic, and we care about making really big pictures of language. What does that mean? So behind me on the screen, you see something that looks kind of like splatter paint, maybe. This is actually like 5 or so million tweets from Twitter. They're the most engaged with tweets of all time. Each one of them is a single point, and 2 tweets are close together if an AI, kind of like Bing or ChatGPT or something, considers the content of the tweets similar. We basically take these similarities that it computes and we squish it down into 2 dimensions so that we can put it on a picture like this. And I'm just going to take you through some things that I found interesting running around this space and looking at how Twitter has kind of evolved, maybe, if the projector works. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, the classic, like, bend it at the right angle trick.
Yeah. Loop this bad boy around.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, no, that's not what we needed. Loop it one more time.
Hello. Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Please. Please. Work with me.
I can hold it. Thank you. Oh, man.
Bear with us here. I have this as well. Maybe we can try this.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That looks great.
This is also my first time at WordHack, which is pretty exciting. I like the idea of an open projector. I think that's neat. I think we should have more of that in the world. Okay, here we go. I think we're good. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is just kind of like a visual of how Twitter has evolved over time. So we can kind of filter it down to individual areas, and we can see roughly that the discourse on Twitter goes through kind of 3 major phases. I like to call them old, medium, and new Twitter. So old Twitter, we have a lot of discourse in this region, which based on the labels that we kind of extracted is like really based on sort of personal life. So people talking about dating, self-love, death and condolences. So it's sort of a very personal kind of network at this point. But then as time progresses, we enter phase 2, which I like to call like the commoditization phase of Twitter, where suddenly the discourse shifts to things like media and sports. So suddenly you see a lot of people talking about things like, you know, Justin Bieber and pop culture, and also down here you start to see things like, you know, the NFL and things of this nature. So I think that's kind of curious. And then after a little while, we shift into what I call like the current phase of Twitter, which is politics and BTS, which is essentially what rules right now. And it's sort of interesting even to see how political discourse changes on Twitter. So I'm going to use like this sort of micro example of the COVID-19 pandemic to kind of walk through like how the discourse has changed. So right around 2020, we see an immediate explosion of like people talking about COVID on Twitter. And the first thing they're talking about is like a day in my life in quarantine. So it's sort of these very personal stories. And we also see things like, you know, the economic crisis associated with COVID as well, sort of like in the early days. And then the set of discourse sort of moves to masks, and then finally settles on something like vaccine mandates at the end. And even within vaccine mandates, we see there's sort of this different kind of language that people are using. So if we like look at vaccine mandate discourse specifically, you see a lot of discourse over here about people talking about the FDA. And then you come over here and the phrase vaccine passport is being used a lot. And so this sort of island right here represents what probably people in this room would call like a deviant subpopulation of people using a term that people have maybe come to call a dog whistle, which is like a phrase which has sort of been co-opted to now kind of signal a certain leaning. So it was kind of interesting that we found that. The other kind of fun one that exists here is drugs. So inside the drugs topic, we see people talking about drugs in sort of a medical context, but one of the curious things for me is that it also lit up in a bunch of other places. And so I was like, okay, well, why does some AI think that like medical drugs are close to something that's in sort of the personal or pop culture region? And it turns out that this is talking about hard pills to swallow. And so this is a couple of things. This shows us, one, that there's sort of this nuance to the usage of like the phrase pill in the world, and two, that the AI models we have nowadays are able to capture this nuance and separate it and understand that there's sort of a link between this hard pill to swallow in a metaphorical sense and sort of like what an actual pill. So that's kind of the set of individual things I wanted to take you through. I'll get you off the stage and I'll get myself off the stage and let someone else deal with the technical difficulties, but feel free to chat with me about like what this is, or like go play with it if you want. You can find it at figure2.nomic.ai. So that's all I got for you.
And Brandon has agreed to lend us his working dongle for the rest of the event. So give it up for Brandon, the hero we needed. And that was Nomic. The URL was cut off, but NOMIC, if you want to check that out. Got one final person to close out the open projector. Really happy to welcome back one of our WordHack regulars, been with us for a very long time. Please give it up for Robin.
How's everyone doing? Good. Yeah. It's Thursday. Oh, my God.
I don't have mini display, do you?
I do.
We have the same pants.
Oh, hell yeah. Good pants. You have HDMI?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Our powers combined. Do you have sound?
I don't need it. Okay, let me get this where I can use it. And I will get my screen. I will get my screen up here. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, so many windows.
Oh no.
Ooh. My notes, no. Okay. Hello. My name is Robin. I'm going to be kind of re-showing something that I first made a while ago, but have been continuing to work on. It's called Liar's Dictionary, and you're looking at an example of it here. It's a computer program and some associated social media feeds that makes up new English words based on real kind of word parts and patterns to make words that I like to think of them as kind of historically plausible. Like they don't exist, but based on the historical nature of English, they could have existed, and they have like etymological relationships with real words. So to start, I can just show you some examples here. These are all taken from some words that it made over the last few days that I just kind of liked and picked out. So this one, proximitious, characterized by the quality of being nearby. Why say nearby when you could say proximitious? Or acutitude, the quality of being pointed, you know. It's not sharp, it just has a lot of acutitude. If you're looking for another word for a comedy club or a place where you're out having a good time, a ricery. Maybe if you're real into self-improvement, you're trying to become an autoteliote, one who completes oneself. Or maybe you're just very happy being single, I don't know. Omnification, if you're very productive, the act of making everything. And if you insist on carrying it around with you, you might become a cosmophore, one who bears the universe. Kind of a Katamari situation, maybe. Panaclexis, if you can't say no to anything, the act or state of selecting everything. And if you're paneclectic when you and your friends are out drinking, you might become synalgetes, who are feeling some pain together. And if it's real bad, you might even feel like you're remortating. So there is a Twitter account for this that just posts one of these every couple hours. It's also on Mastodon now if you're using that at the botsin.space instance. So yeah, this is a project that I think I first made it like 5 years ago, but I've been continuing to improve it. I have a lot of plans for it that I would like to do in the future, so I'm hoping to continue working on it. It's very special to me, and because of that, I have a lot that I can say about it. So the new thing here is that I have made a website for it, which has a little blog that I'm trying to fill out with some of my thoughts about like why I made it, how it works, like what I would like to add to it. So it's on here. It's at liarsdictionary.com. If you're interested, you can check it out, and it has links to the feeds and everything else. And that's it. Thank you.
Alrighty, and that's going to close out our open projector. Let's give it up for all our presenters. And if this is your first time here, I know it's hard to sign up at Open Projector. Though your first time here, you know, like, what is it? What is it? What kind of stuff is shown? You maybe have a little bit of a sense, but also it doesn't need to be exactly any of the things you just saw. So if you thought, I could do something for 5 minutes that might entertain a room full of people or make them think about a thing, yes, you could in the future. Think about it for next month. Really excited to jump into our first featured presenter. Excited to welcome Blake Andrews. Give it up for Blake. Blake is a really wonderful game designer and organizer, experimental performer. Really excited to see what they have for us this evening. I think it's going to be a good time. Please give it up for Blake.
I have control of the situation. Oh, that's wrong. Forcing it the wrong way.
They do not have control of the situation.
do a quick audio check. Oh, is this Can everybody hear that? This is my presentation that I made for WordHack. This is my rejected EGW game. Hi, my name is Blake Andrews. I am a video game designer that lives in New York City. And tonight I would like to talk to you about the game that I submitted to the EGW, or the Experimental Game Workshop. These are two of my favorite game developers, Fadi and Alec. I will talk about my history, how I submitted the game. Is there something funny about that? And a short demonstration of the game and what I would do differently next time. So a little bit about me, but first, my philosophy, an interesting perspective of interactivity. So one thing, so usually I make games, but this one's not a game. So if everybody could, I could hear everybody like making a little chuckling and stuff like that. If everyone could just shut the fuck up for the rest of the presentation, because I'm very scared. So that's my philosophy. Hello. But a side note, so I will let you interact. So for this, how much time do I have? So if not yet. So a side note, if you see one of these guys in my presentation yell, it's a virus. And the person who has the most amount of points gets a special prize by the end of it. So this is COVID-19. So this is my education. So you know that I'm not just some random person, you know. And I helped. Who? Okay, you have 1 point. Give it up for Colleen Macklin. And I used to participate a lot in a website called Glorious Trainwrecks, where I would submit a large amount of video games. And now I'm a teacher, just like in the show Abbott Elementary, which is the only, when people ask me what TV shows I watch, this is the only show that I watch. And one thing about teaching, if you watch this show, is it's very difficult. So, submitting my game. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the process of submitting. It took a lot of hours out of my free time for me to do this, and it was unpaid. And I was promised if I got in to the EGW, I would get a small cash prize. However, I was rejected due to what I believe to be collusion. Everyone's joking, everyone's laughing, but there's very seriously, there's someone who's on the board of like everything, and everybody's laughing. But if you look, I'm not joking. If you look at the board, there's one person that's on the board for everything in New York and for the EGW, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. And I know this is presented as a joke, but the people who know me know I'm being completely serious. And I've heard through the grapevine that this person said I'm very immature, and they don't like any of my games. And this is dead true. This is what I've heard. Who's Mark? So the people who are presenting I think these are the only 2 viruses, so you guys will have to duke it out in some way later. But so they called me immature, but does anyone know how much money I have? I don't have any money, so I very desperately needed this, and I spent a long time with making my thing. And who are they to judge me? I'm gonna show them what's up. Okay. How do I? Where's that? There's the tab. Let's get started. Finally gonna use Microsoft OneDrive. Don't geek out on stage. Okay, so how much time do I have left? Okay. So this is the game that I submitted in New York City, video game by Blake Andrews, making click Team Fusion 2.5. Press space to continue. So just like all games, this is an open world video game where you get to do whatever freaky stuff you want to do. And the first thing you get to do is create a character. So this is the character creator. And actually, can I get a volunteer to base my character off of? Can you stand up in front and look at everybody so everyone sees what you look like? So about how tall would you say you are? So that means your feet are about this big. Right. And what race would you say you are? Too bad. What kind of shirt would you say you... Just tell me when to stop. I have 3 shirts to pick. Can you please look at the screen? Just tell me when to stop. Okay, stop. And you're in hell. And I'll pick which hair you have. Just tell me when to stop. Wait, no. I chose you because this is totally your hair. And then I'll just draw a portrait. So I think you look really nice. You can sit down now. There's a cool deal on the Epic Store. So there's a couple different scenarios. We're going to pick one. So this is... so in this game, you work for Eric Adams, and he has a quest for you, and he's just you're his little henchman, and while he goes clubbing, you have to kill rats for him, and this is your home base. This is your apartment, so you can look outside and look at this hot ass lady, and pick the sleep from your eye. Click sleep, and then you don't want to go outside yet. So should I lay face down, or should we all watch an episode of Justin Roiland's Rick and Morty? I didn't hear what the first person said. I'm going to pick this. So this is an interactive section of the game. So everybody has to take a voice because that guy stopped. He stopped making the show. So we have to do new voices. So Rick will be voiced by all the guys in their 30s in the audience. Morty will be voiced by all the little boys in the audience. Francine will be voiced by all the white women. Haley will be voiced by all the chicks, aka women below 30. Brian the dog will be voiced by all the hot ass they thems in the audience, and Sel will be the couple people of color in the audience. So does everyone know what role they have? Can I hear that once more? Yes. I have the oh wait, sorry. Oh. Wait, sorry. I gotta go through. I have to go through the whole thing again. There's not really a good way for me to do this other than to I'm sorry, I apologize. Sorry about that. So 1, and then yes, and then here. Okay, and then let me just. I forgot what button I. This is like a little bit insider. Okay, I just clicked to advance it. Okay. I forgot to do all the art for all the female characters. Everyone has to pick up the pace so I can finish it.
Last. Beep. 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 Flash. Beep. Beep.
Okay, now it's time to kill the rats. Which rat should I pick? How did everybody know this is the correct way to go? So you found a chasm. There are 2 rodents. Which way do you want to go? So this rat says, "Are you going to kill me because Eric Adams told you to do it? Do you want to kill the rat or betray Eric?" Ha, you idiot. I'm actually a part of the Azov battalion. So the only option is to kill the rat. We'll just try to speed through the rest of it. So now we have to go down the way that smells like pussy. And she also asks you, which way do you want to do? Ha, I can't do that because this is an all-age venue. So now we're at the final boss here. He's like this super supreme swastika rat. And if people want to participate to try to kill this rat, everyone has to whip out their phone at the same time. I know some people have done this before, but you have to do it again tonight. Whip out your phone to please everybody scan the QR code to kill him. Thank you.
That was really immature. I'm sorry, everybody. Give it up one more time for Blake. And that'll take us to our first break. There's only one break. It's the break. It'll be around 10 minutes, and then we'll be back after the break with Colleen, Macklin, and Mark Fingerhut. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be a great show, but go grab a drink, tip your bartenders, and I'll see you in 10. maybe close distance to other people, but I know it's a tight space in here. I appreciate folks packing in. Oh wow, yeah, people got nice and quieted down. Really excited to start off our second half here with Colleen Macklin. Colleen Macklin is a really amazing experimental game designer, an educator, has mentored and taught a lot of people in our extended community over at Parsons. Colleen is also here with a project she's worked on with some other creators who are in the audience. So we also have, in addition to Colleen, we have Aprov Riate, Lavanya Suresh, and Terry Khan. I don't know if you guys are here. Want to say hello? They'll be... Yeah, and Jason Lee as well, while we're crediting folks. But please give it up for Colleen.
Wow, thank you, Todd. Hey, thank you, folks. I've never presented at WordHack before. I'm a little nervous. Okay, let's see if I can set this up.
Everyone's exactly like this.
All right, so thanks, Blake, for going before me. You made it really easy to be up here. You set the tone. I appreciate you. All right, so I am going to present something that we're going to kind of take it down a notch, and it's got a little bit of sound, and it's a little bit mellow. And we're going to see if it works. That's the main thing. All right. Put all those open windows. Constantly. All right, I'm just going to be quiet. We're just going to experience this. Morning.
When I look up at the clouds, I like to imagine they are the work of some master sculptor.
If you see a shape, okay, you could shout it out.
I am innocent, but I also am not innocent. I am guilty, but I also am not guilty.
First time it's told the truth. Okay. Someone walking.
The businesswoman is doing what she's doing because she's trying to make money. If a cloud was doing what it was doing in a way that would be socially advantageous, then it would be considered a successful cloud. The thing that makes a cloud successful is that it carries important papers with confidence.
I forgot the content warning. I don't know what it's going to say. So close your ears and eyes if you don't want. Ooh, yeah. I think it is. You might have to think for a minute about this.
I've never seen a singing crocodile with the scales of justice, but now I see they are connected by a group of interdimensional beings with the properties of the objects we see.
Mind blown.
A cloud shaped like an owl symbolizes the idea of humanity and comparison with other similar things.
Oh, somebody got a phone call.
That cloud reminds me of a telephone, a way to communicate with extraterrestrial life. This cloud is a reminder of the power of voice and can move objects with our minds. We can shape-shift into any form she desires, allowing her to speak and to do lip reading. Of course, I know that the scales of justice, a businesswoman, a singing crocodile, an owl, and a telephone are not the work of some master sculptor. They are the work of an imperfect machine capable of a great variety of shapes, one human hand clapping and the other twiddling keys.
That was a demo. It's the first time the public has seen this. Wow, except for, I think, if Flauntopia is who I think they are, Flauntopia was a playtester. So what you just saw is called Cloud Theory at the moment. And I'm really indebted to the students who have worked with me on this. You'll get a look at their faces in the virtual world as well as the real one here. The idea for this is just a game that only involves kind of watching rather than walking or doing anything. It's sort of watching simulator. And it's a meditation on meaning and machine learning. So the team, Anna Garbier, Apurv Rayati, Terry Khan, Lavanya Suresh, Emi Sato, and Jason Lee. We've got 4 out of the 6 folks who have worked with me on this project so far. Some have gone on to graduate, including Jason, Emi, and Anna. Apurv, Terry, and Lavanya have stayed up late nights over the last few nights, making sure this thing would work. So I really thank them a lot. So I'll talk a little, oh yeah, there's me. And we're all part of the Design and Technology program at Parsons School of Design. All right, so I have a little bit of a background in making games, and I like to make games that relate to language. This is made by a company I'm part of called Local Number 12. Eric Zimmerman and John Sharp are also members of that company, and some other fantastic folks. It is an iPhone game where you get to play through classic literature, all kinds of different books. This is a game, so that's a nice game. It's really commercial, and I'm very proud of. This is more of the kind of thing I like to do. This is a game, well, I like doing that too. I shouldn't have said that. John, Eric, are you out there? I hope not. This is a game called Trending Topics. I made this actually for my life partner, Renee, because she hates playing games. It's really funny to be married to a game designer when you hate games and you're forced to play test them constantly. So I made this game. It's called Trending Topics. And basically, you get a topic, and you just weave it into conversation, but you're not really playing a game. You can play it if you want. If you go to trendingtopics.fun, you can get a topic and play it later this evening if you like. You can be played while playing other games or having drinks. So the idea for this game really came from this moment. I actually took this picture. I was having a pretty bad summer. I mean, it wasn't that bad. Look where I was. It's sort of pretty. But I was like struggling to write a book, and I was like, oh God, and I like walked outside and I saw this and I was like, oh my God, it's an omen. Do you see what it is? Yeah, it's a bunny rabbit. Yeah, you're really good at that. So the idea of seeing shapes in clouds, right? It has a kind of long word. I really loved the Liar dictionary. I want like there to be a special word for this, but it's pareidolia. Or some people call it apophenia. They're slightly different. You know, apophenia is more like connection between unrelated or random things. And I think this game is about both of these things. Apophenia may be how we form conspiracy theories. So the thing about machine learning is that it can learn to see faces on faces. It can also learn to see faces in clouds. This is a project called Cloudface by Shin-Sung-bak Kim Young-jung and Shin-Sung-bak and Kim Yong-hun it's the concatenation of their names as the artist group. So they basically had a camera pointed at the sky, and the camera just picked out what it saw were faces. It was a facial recognition algorithm. I love this project. I think it's really smart. But then I was thinking about words, you know, and the thing about text is that we each make our own meaning when we read the text, but there's there's an author, I heard they died a while back, the Deathly Author, but they're still around, kind of. A lot of really good ones here. But the idea of machine learning is that we find meaning in something where meaning doesn't exist, which is interesting. It's kind of like seeing shapes in clouds. Someday we'll find out that somebody's actually shaping these clouds and we didn't know it. But the whole thing is that, and I'm sure most of you know this, but I just, I'm a teacher, I can't help but start from the beginning. So machine learning has no meaning, right? There's no meaning underlying it. It's probability sequences. It's basically, it takes the word the, and then it finds the most probable word after the, and then it's nice, right? And then what's the most probable word after nice? Woman? Guy? House? Woman, obviously. And then it just keeps on going, right? So it's basically just a sort of probability tree. Did you see something happen with this image? Did it animate for you? Maybe not. It's a little bit. Little? What happened? What did you see? Kind of like, like the thing in the middle grew a little bit. Well, that's an optical illusion. It's not actually animated. It's basically your brain anticipating the future. So you're projecting onto this image what you think is going to happen next, which is that you're going to go into a dark tunnel. That's pretty weird, right? So we're probability engines too, right? Well, we literally can't help it. We see what our brain thinks is probable or what it's learned from experience. You can talk to Ben Van Buren, he's back there, about why this happens. Sorry, Ben, but you're going to have to explain it because I don't really quite understand. But at least that's my interpretation, is that we have a little bit of machine learning in ourselves as well. So I think we need to understand how these things work, and I think we can, by understanding how these things work, maybe understand ourselves better. I don't know, just, thinking. So, I'm going to talk about a few people who have been fired by the company Google. So Blake Lemoine was fired because Lemoine, who was working in AI and ethics and was evaluating large language models, basically thought that the language model was sentient and said so publicly, and Google fired him. Okay. These folks are more the skeptics, Gary Marcus and Ernest Davis. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's no sentience yet, but they would say that that's something that they're calling the gullibility gap. I think it's apophenia. I think it's just what we do. We make meaning in what we see. And the funny thing is that these models themselves hallucinate, right? What's the world record for crossing the English Channel entirely on foot? Well, of course, we'll speak, very wisely about what, I love how authoritative ChatGPT is. It's just one of my favorite things. Just like knows everything that didn't happen. It's like the coolest. So here's some more people who got fired from Google. For, in this case, speaking the truth. Timnit Gebru, Margaret Schmitzel, also known as Margaret Mitchell, as well as some awesome academics who do way better work in this field than I do. I'm just a game designer playing with levers. But basically, they kind of pointed out some of the dangers of these models, and so I started to feel really bad about, what am I doing? Why am I, using machine learning algorithms, because it's, killing the planet? And also has a lot of bias. So I'm just going to TLDR this academic article for you. The bigger the language model, the more smart it seems. To make a language model bigger equals more computing power equals global warming, which disproportionately impacts marginalized communities. They make a really great sort of argument about this, but it's actually true. So can we make smaller interventions? I would hope so. GPT-3, which is kind of the model that underlies ChatGPT, basically 552 tons of CO2e, which is the equivalent, let's see, that's ChatGPT, 76% of a Danish person's annual carbon consumption. So ChatGPT is 76% of a Danish person. So to train the model that I just showed you in cloud theory, it took 0.05 kilograms of carbon dioxide, or 0.22% of ChatGPT's daily consumption, not annual. Dane's annual consumption is 20.22% of Americans. Isn't that interesting? That's not true. But I can be like ChatGPT too. I can be really authoritative about stuff, and it seems real. So we might play games while the planet burns, but we probably shouldn't make games that make the planet burn. So this is one of my favorite T-shirts. If I can only find it, I really want it. Lamps in video games use real electricity. That is true. And for more, you really should read Ben Abraham's book on it. So how do we not kill the planet? That's one question with this project. We just kill it small amounts, like all of you do every day. And then also, these large language models are trained on this massive unedited literal, it's sometimes called the pile. Tons of stuff, like Reddit forums, etc. That can't be a problem, right? So it also leads to bias and harmful content towards marginalized communities and really towards everybody, but really it mostly, again, targets those who have been targeted throughout history. So how do you, instead of move fast and break things, move slow and try not to hurt anybody? Well, Miranda July, my analogy here is that Miranda July once said that filmmaking is like using fuzzy mittens. You don't have a lot of control over the final result. It's kind of hard. Whereas novel writing, to Miranda July, is kind of like using a little tweezer. It's very exacting. You can create the exact, through words, right, the exact setting and place. So how do we do less this kind of hands and more these kind of hands? My goal is these hands. Please, Michelle Yeoh, win the Oscar. The other thing about these large language models that a lot of game development companies are interested in, the holy grail of the forever forking narrative. Well, guess what? It's probably not going to be that good. So I was really trying a little bit more for like Shower Thoughts meets the Million Monkey type on typewriter paradox. So how do we get a little bit of like what random and also genius reading the Reddit Shower Thoughts forum? So I'm going to just show you how I made it. Kind of think of it like cooking. I'm not a data scientist, so I just kind of like try stuff, and my students are amazing because they figured out actually how to hook this model up to the system. Aperv and Lasvanya in particular. Yeah. And Terry skipped class to make it work. Sorry, Terry. I'll try to get you an excused absence for that one. So basically, there's recipes and tools like pots and pans and the joy of cooking. We use GPT Neo, the smallest model they have, to avoid a big problem with burning the planet. Although I think our game, it was like 600 feet in a car. So I'm going to try to go 600 feet less in a car this year, and maybe even more if I can, to try to preserve the planet. So we use Google Colab, and really hats off to Max Wolf creating AI text gen so that creative people can make these things as well as giant companies. Then the ingredients in the model that you just saw, sort of the string beans or the stuff good for you is books on philosophy that are in the public domain. In particular, I really love Bertrand Russell's writing. I took and combed through Shower Thoughts and chose 1,000 that I thought were good. It took me all day. Those are the crunchy onions there. And then the cream of mushroom soup is, I actually decided, all right, ChatGPT is going to do the rest of the work for me. So I had it generate comments about all of these many, many shapes that are actually in the game. And that took many, many days. And then we cook it. We use regex to clean up the text. We fine-tuned our model on these ingredients, threw it in a pan, threw it in Unity, and we made a green bean casserole, which is the game. But it's a weird green bean casserole. It's half cooked. You still have living green beans in it. We're still working on it. And this is what the model said about without green bean casserole. he was so happy as to expect food and a second neck. Future directions. So it's not done yet. It hasn't been released. I'm excited. I'm not going to probably show it again until it is. But I'm really excited because I feel like y'all understand. Future directions, add more cloud watching personalities or friends. You know, the idea is that you're sitting there and your friend is kind of like getting philosophical and deep with you. So we have the deep thoughts friend already, kind of. A movie pitch friend. This is one that came up. I had ChatGPT come up with one. A person who is watering a fish becomes the object of affection for a group of forest animals who are trying to find a mate for their friend, a genderqueer deer. I made it be inclusive. I was like, can you please stop just giving me and I asked it about rom-com plots actually from other universes. There's a questioning child friend, that a non-human friend, overly logical friend, because that's ChatGPT. An ancient thing, I don't know what that is, friend. Sentient AI friend? Nah, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, just to do that, all you do is, new ingredients, mix it up and see what you get. We're also working on a VR version of the game where you literally don't have to lift a finger. You just look at the clouds and that's it. I'm really excited about games where you don't actually do anything. That is my whole goal. Don't do anything. We do too much already. We have now this amazing synthetic training set of clouds changing shape a little bit over time. We could actually get a computer vision AI to recognize shapes in clouds and play the game with you in real life, or just play the game. Actually, we don't need to play the game at all. It could just play the game with itself. Or we could make this version of CloudWatch as designed by ChatGPT. The player has a limited amount of time to identify each cloud and must select the correct shape from a list of options before the cloud floats out of view. The player earns points for each correct answer and can progress to the next level by reaching a certain score threshold. Nope. Not interested. We're not making that game. Anyway, that's Cloud Theory. Thanks, everybody. I like to show how you make stuff because I feel like it's such a mystery. No, I probably shouldn't have done this because it's like you need a call to action, but no, there's no call to action.
Yeah, no, because I remember you mentioned how should people approach you?
Oh, they should just follow me on Twitter and announce the game. It'll come out soon. I hope. Thank you.
All right. So you should follow Colleen Macklin on Twitter to keep up with announcements about Cloud Theory.
Or on Game Dev Mastodon.
Or on Game Dev Mastodon. Alrighty, we are up to our final presenter, and I'm really excited to welcome back Mark Fingerhut. Oh, hey, I'm introducing the next presenter. You don't have to talk now. You can talk later. It's fine. No, people will still be here. Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, we're paying attention to me now. Really excited to welcome back Mark Fingerhut. Mark presented at the WordHack Biennial, which was our 2-year anniversary show 6.5 years ago. So it's been a minute, but that was an incredible show then, and I'm really excited to see him back now. Mark is a software artist and poet who makes a lot of experimental PC software that is difficult to release on the internet. I can relate, and it's going to be showing. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm disappearing. Let me get out in front of this one, and it's gonna be showing a new piece for you tonight. I'll also mention that to folks on the stream, since this is a piece that we're trying to keep not having recorded video footage, the stream will keep running, but we're going to be blocking your video feed a little bit during it. So we got a live premiere of sorts. It's been able to be seen other places, but I'm really excited to welcome Mark back. I was just in this past fall, I taught a class at School for Poetic Computation called An Artist's History of Computer Viruses and Malware. I know I saw at least one of my students here tonight. It was a really cool class, and we looked at some of Mark's work in there, and of different kinds of work that borrow a little bit from computer virus and malware aesthetics. I'm sure you'll see what I mean in this presentation. Please let's give a warm welcome to Mark Fingerhut.
Thank you, Todd. Hi, my name is Mark Fingerhut. It's true what they say about not being able to get this online. So a little bit of background, a little bit of context about what you're going to see. I used to be a VJ. I used to do live, video for concerts and raves. And I got disillusioned with that because everyone was on ecstasy. I could project whatever I wanted. Everyone would love it. No one cared. But one time, my desktop, my computer I was using to project crashed to desktop. And then the mountain, the mountain lion background displayed over some EDM festival, and I was humiliated. Obviously, no one cared, but I was humiliated. And then I sought out to write software that I could just use on my desktop to VJ. So if things crashed to the desktop, I was already on the desktop. I could use my desktop to VJ. And then I wanted to be able to send these compositions to my friends, and I developed this, I call it a malware engine. And now I call them software poems and software plays because they happen in real time on your computer. You cannot stop them once they're started, and you have to see them all the way through. So this piece I'm going to show is called Halcyon. I wrote it last year. It took me 2 years to write. The software took 4 months, but the words took like 2 years. And yeah, I'm gonna try out this USB stick. For those of you in the back, I'm holding a USB stick. I'm gonna try to plug it into my computer and see if it runs, and we're gonna see what happens. Oh, I should sound check actually. All right, let me know if you can hear this. No, see, good thing I did that. Can we get that up a little bit? Thank you, perfect. Okay, here we go. Actually, I'm not gonna use the USB stick, I'm just gonna run it. Here we go. So, little mini game, see if you can find halcyon.exe. Here it is. All right. All right, enjoy. It's about 20 minutes, so if you get impatient, deal with it. Here we go.
Feel the hands that shake this world, then try to understand.
KD2YKH, KD2YKH, CQ, 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 calling any traffic on the 2 meter calling frequency here. Got a Diamond X50 about 3 stories up. We got a duplexer at the back of the Yaesu 991A that's running up about 100 feet of some 991.3 coax. We're going right back into a duplexer, and that is splitting out to again, the Diamond X50 aforementioned, and then fed 60 through 10. If anyone can hear me here, why don't you come back? We're doing 25 watts this morning.
The whole area can open up or get or close down, so it can happen sort of quickly. So yeah,
Let's give it up one more time for Mark Fingerhut. So happy that's a piece I've been wanting to see for a long time, and so happy to have been able to share that with you. I have one more small thing I want to show you, and then I can let you go. And if this is your first time with us, we're here the third Thursday of every month, so you could be here next month, or you could be here it's in the computer. The cable is in the computer. So next month is March 16th, we'll have WordHack. We're gonna have Alex Crocus and a couple other folks TBD, but it's going to be a really great show. And let me show you one last thing. And am I up there? We'll see. Could I be? Oh, maybe now I'll have a signal. Yeah, okay, cool. That's one last thing I want to show you. I mentioned in introducing Mark, I mentioned this class I taught in the fall, and we just put out an anthology from that class. This is part of my art practice and stuff I'm really interested in, which is just software that kind of sits in the background of your computer and does art to you when you're not specifically looking for it. So that's kind of what me and my students were making, a mix of desktop art like we saw from Mark, and then browser extensions that kind of lurk and mess with your browsing experience. This was through SFPC, so it's called SFPC. Oh, Brandon, need your dongle, dude. Oh, no, I can just hold it, I guess. That's the move. So it's called SFPC Malware Anthology.zip. It's hosted at Rhizome. There's this cool button where you can download it. Oh, yeah. I'm really feeling what you were feeling, Brandon.
This one is courtesy of Mitch.
Oh, Mitch. Yeah. Yes. Mitch is in this anthology and is saving it in real time.
That's a cool one too.
There's so many ports. Wow, I've never seen a dongle for that kind of HDMI cord.
I realize this may have been premature.
I don't think this has regular HDMI.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry, I shouted you out, Mitch. We don't need to look at it for that much more, but this is also has like a nice communal fireside vibe. Oh, sick. A whole bag of things for me to rummage through on stage while you all wait. All right, maybe. Oh, I'm deep in dongles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a button on here. If you Google SFPC malware anthology, you should end up here, and then it'll be a zip file full of some programs. The one guarantee, I edited and tested all the things in here. Nothing will run unless you click on it. So if you install the zip, or you don't install a zip file. If you download a zip file, you unzip it, you look in there. There's a bunch of readmes. You can read about what's going to happen. You can have a consentful experience where you see what. I should have used this bag. I'm just gonna. Oh, all right, we're back. There's some cool stuff in here. There's a little spam engine. There's this nice first-person browser extension where you can what do we got? Oh, this is Mitch's piece, which allows you to browse your own history in a very revealing way. It doesn't make anything public. These are a couple desktop things. Here's a little worm that lives on your desktop. That's pretty fun. Oh, here we go. And that might be all I show. But I know I have this beautiful bag of dongles, but I just don't have that much content left, and it doesn't feel worth it to rummage in the bag. Oh, I'll just describe to you this. This is really exciting that you're with these flickers. Oh yeah, here's this Malender that replaces your Google Calendar links with links to install Malender. It's a good one. So there's some fun stuff in here. Again, nothing will happen unless you deliberately install it. It's not trying to be evil. just trying to have unique experiences with art that make your heart go pa 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 pa. That's all I have to show you. This has been WordHack. I hope you'll come back again next month. It's been real great. And again, our presenters, Blake Andrews, Colleen Macklin, Mark Fingerhut, they'll be around. Give it up for them one more time. And hope to see you next month.